Hey screamers and full-time trick-or-treaters! I have the ultimate horror movie challenge for you. I'll give you some random information about the plots of the movies and shows. And you will have to guess their names. Now grab your quill and grimoire to write down your scores. Give yourself a candy point if you know the answer, and a slap on the face. I mean no point if you don't. Let's begin. In this movie, the main characters and their kids are accompanied by 4 singing busts while searching for the mausoleum. Can you tell me which movie this is? And here's a hint. It has the word haunted in it. It's Disney's The Haunted Mansion, which was released in 2003. You can also find the ride attraction of this movie at Disneyland. And actually, the movie is based on the ride and not the other way around. In this movie, the neighbor of the main character scares children away from his front yard and confiscates their belongings. Do you know its name? It's the 2006 animated movie Monster House. One of its screenwriters received a letter about how this movie is nightmare-inducing. Well, you'll have to watch and decide for yourself if you haven't yet. In this movie, the main character travels into a world where all the creatures have buttons instead of eyes. Which movie is this character from? It's the 2009 stop-motion movie CORALINE, which was based on the Neil Gaiman book of the same name. If you haven't watched it yet, here's some advice. Don't be tricked by it being an animation. Think twice before watching it with any kids around, because I guarantee that it'll give you the heebie-jeebies. In this movie, a zombie falls in love with a living human girl and does everything he can to protect her. Do you know it? It's Warm Bodies, which was released in 2013 and based on a novel. By the way, it's also a romantic comedy movie, so you can watch it on Valentine's Day too. It's a win-win for partners with different film tastes, am I right? In this movie, David Bowie steals a baby. Do you know the name of it? This movie is called Labyrinth, and it was released in 1986. Since it's an old one, don't beat yourself up if you don't know it. But David Bowie sings with puppets in it, so it's a good fit for the pumpkin season. This one is not a movie. It's a mini-series, and in it, one of the characters wears a teapot on his head and has a pet frog. Do you know its name? It's Over the Garden Wall. This 10-episode animated show aired in 2014, but it quickly became a classic. This movie's antagonist is a bioexorcist, and his name consists of 2 words, a bug and a drink. Can you guess the movie? It's Tim Burton's 1988 movie, Beetlejuice. Here's some great news for its fans. Earlier this year, it was announced that there's going to be a sequel to it. This movie is about a vampire who returns to his ancestral home after being imprisoned for almost 200 years, only to find out his dysfunctional descendants need his help. Do you know its name? Another movie by the Gothic director Tim Burton. This one is called Dark Shadows, and it was actually based on a television soap opera of the same name. In this movie, a boy has to lift a 300-year-old witch's curse to save his town, despite the fact that everyone in it thinks he's crazy. Can you tell me what this movie is? It's the 2012 animated stop-motion movie PARANORMAN, which is actually produced by the same company that made CORALINE. In this movie, a boy is turned into a mouse by the leader of a witch coven. Do you know its name? This movie, which is based on a Roald Dahl novel, is called The Witches, and it actually has two versions. The first one was made in 1990, and the second one was made in 2020. Since I'm feeling generous, you can give yourself an extra point if you knew this information. In this movie, a boy must tell scary stories to a witch every night in order to survive. Can you guess its name? It's the 2021 movie called Night Books. In this movie, monsters, which are actually characters from books, come to life, and the author of the books must stop them with the help of a few teenagers before they wreak havoc upon their town. Can you tell me its name? It's the 2015 movie Goosebumps, which is based on the horror book series of the same name, written by Robert Lawrence Stein. So you've made it to question number 13. It's time to take things up a notch on the scary meter then. In this movie, a group of counselors try to reopen an abandoned summer camp with a grim past. Tell me its name. Come on, I know you know this. It's nothing other than the 1980 movie Friday the 13th, of course. You know what the funny thing is? The Friday the 13th franchise actually consists of 12 movies as of today. This movie follows a young pregnant woman with peculiar neighbors, whom she thinks have sinister intentions for her baby. Do you know the name of it? Psychological horror, everyone? It's the 1968 movie Rosemary's Baby, the movie which its producers thought to be cursed due to some tragic events that took place while filming it. In this movie, after hearing some unfortunate news, a woman and her family begin to discover terrifying secrets about their ancestry. Vague much? But you can tell me its name if you're a true horror fan. It's the 2018 movie Hereditary. By the way, did you know that its director pitched this movie as a family drama? Talk about marketing skills, am I right? Do you think your life is more like work hard, play hard, or like all work and no play? If your answer is the latter, then which movie's antagonists feel the same way as you? The movie that uses the all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy proverb is Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, which was based on the Stephen King novel of the same name. If you were a character in this movie, you would have to live in complete silence to be able to survive. Can you name the movie? It's the 2018 post-apocalyptic movie A Quiet Place, with a sequel released in 2021. Shh. In this movie, a group of losers have to destroy a shape-shifting sewer monster. What movie is it? It's the 2017 movie It. Just like The Shining, this one is also a Stephen King novel adaptation. Here's another mini-series question for you. This one is about 5 siblings who eventually have to flee the house they were trying to renovate. Do you know which series this is? This 10-episode miniseries is The Haunting of Hill House, and it's actually the first installment of the Haunting Anthology series. How about we end things on a higher note, so that you'll still be able to sleep in the dark? In this last movie, there's a giant plant that sings to be fed. Do you know it? It's Little Shop of Horrors, which was adapted by an off-Broadway musical, which itself was adapted by the 1960 movie of the same name. Now, let's see how well you did. If you have 0 to 5 candy points, you're a ghost, because nobody can see you anywhere near the movie theater. If you have 6 to 10 candy points, you're a zombie, because you're slow when it comes to catching up with movies. If you have 11 to 15 candy points, you're a werewolf who once in a while misses a movie due to nights with the full moon. If you have 16 to 21 candy points with an extra point included, you're a vampire who drinks every movie in.
That's it for today. So hey, if you pacified your curiosity, then give the video a like and share it with your friends. Or if you want more, just click on these videos and stay on the bright side.